such changes to like make stuff modernized or like overly woke?
I think I can get a 50-50 throw off one-on-one with George Pickens.
Give me 10 of those. Yeah, give me 10
Give
of
me
those.
10 of those.
I'm kind of getting sick of enemies to lovers. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah.
Welcome to Live from M5. I'm Cara Gonzales, and today I'm here with
Eitan Rubinstein.
And Gemma Templeman.
Today we're going to be doing a special senior interview for Gemma. So to start this off, Gemma, what program here at Rocklin High has affected you the most?
So I'm a wrestler, and I've been a varsity wrestler all 4 years.
All 4 years?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start off with that. How does that make you feel looking back on your high school career that you've been able to have that title all 4 years?
It's kind of cool. Wrestling's a little different than like your typical basketball or volleyball team. It's all based off of wrestle-offs. So if you are the best wrestler at your weight in the room, you get to go to varsity. But I don't wrestle in duels as often. It's kind of all done by weight. And so if another school in our area has a girl my weight, then we'll wrestle off at dual meets. But yeah, usually I just wrestle in the varsity bracket at tournaments.
I have one question super fast. How does wrestling work?
How does it work?
Yeah, I don't know how it works.
Okay, so wrestling is there's different styles for high school wrestling, like through the CIF. It's called folk style. So there's 3 periods, and each period is 2 minutes long. And so the first period, everyone starts on their feet, and then at the beginning of the second period, the ref will toss a coin, and it will decide which wrestler gets their choice, and they can choose to start on top, on bottom, or on their feet, or defer. So that's top, bottom, neutral, or defer. And then there's ways to score from different positions.
Okay, so can you like tell me what top is on your feet?
Close.
No?
Okay, top.
Yeah.
So neutral is when you guys are both on your feet. That's also
Okay,
how you
got
start
it.
the match. So like that's when like a wrestler has a foot on each line, and they shake hands, and then they wrestle.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and then when they get taken down like on the mat, then the person on top would have scored 2 points. The person on bottom is trying to escape, and the person on top is trying to turn them.
How do you start like that? Does one person just start standing?
So then when you start, one person will kneel on the mat with like their hands. There's 2 lines. So there's 2 lines here and then 2 lines here. So at those lines, like a wrestler will put their hands on and their knees down, and then someone will cover them. And so they're not fully flat, but they're also not standing. So you're just kind of in like a, like, you'll find a picture somewhere, I'm sure.
Okay,
but so they're just covering them, and then the wrestler on top is trying to work to break them down and turn them, because the whole goal is to like have your man pinned, and then the wrestler on the bottom is trying to escape or reverse.
So why would you ever pick to start on the bottom?
It's actually funny. I always start on bottom.
You always do?
Yeah,
Okay.
I always do, because like, okay, so it's great because so first period, if you guys are 0-0, then this is a good way to get points, because say you can't like turn your man, then you're on top of them the whole time, and like that is a long period to like try to get points, but not, and then you go into third period and you're still on top, you can't turn them, then they win 1-0 or something like that, right? So yeah, I like choosing bottom because it's a good opportunity to score, and like if you're fast, you get out.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought like it's a disadvantage, but it actually is like semi an advantage because you can turn them easier.
Right. It depends on everyone's style. Like there's some
Okay.
wrestlers I know will never pick bottom because they just know they can't get up. But then there's other wrestlers that are like, no, put me down every time, I'll get my points. So
Fair
it
enough.
depends. Yeah. Kind of depends on your style.
Yeah, my brother used to wrestle for Rocklin High back in like 2011 to 2015, and he was always on top, I think.
Yeah, like some people are definitely a lot better with like pinning combos than others, and like I don't know, it just depends on who you're wrestling and what their build is.
Okay, one last question before you can get to yours. What is your favorite pinning combo?
It's definitely like evolved over the years, but recently this season I think I've been running a bar most of the time, like an arm bar.
Okay. Pretend I don't know what a bar
Okay.
is.
Okay. So, an arm bar, there's different ways to set it up, but I usually do like a baseball, they call it, or like baseball grip. So when a wrestler's lying down, and I'm on top, I would like get their wrist out from under them, so I kind of have my pressure on theirs, and I roll out to the side and get their wrist out and pin it behind their back, and then I'll hold my arm through like under their bicep. So I'll hold their bicep and I'll like walk around their head to get them to turn to their back.
That sounds painful.
I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, it definitely can be, but it's funny because I drill with my coaches. Like, I don't really have a wrestler here like the same weight as me that like is a good drill partner for me. So I'll drill with my coaches, and like I'm just doing it over and over again on like the same shoulder, and he always gets so annoyed. But yeah.
So talking about this season, I
Mhm.
feel like this year has been such a huge season for you. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and your journey to getting how far you did?
Yeah, so this season was super cool. We got new coaches this year as a team, so it was really exciting to work with them, and they have been amazing. We have Coach Mathers, who runs a lot of the practices, and then Coach G or Coach Gonzales and Coach Hunter and Coach Nick are the ones that go to the tournaments with the girls. So we've been working with them. Personally, I had a good season. I was 42-0 and
awesome.
ended off as a state champ. So
A good season.
yeah, it was super exciting. I won like every tournament. I didn't lose a match, so it was really cool. I had it was 42-0 with 39 pins. So
Oh wow.
yeah, I pinned almost every girl I wrestled, which was really
That's
cool.
incredible.
Yeah.
The rest you
I
just
can't imagine.
won because points.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So one quick question about the coaches that you mentioned. So one helps you like train, right? And the other few go to like tournaments with you, right?
Okay, yeah. So with wrestling, like tournaments can be separated. Like there's always a girls bracket and a boys bracket.
Yeah.
So sometimes they're at different schools or different locations.
Okay.
So our coaching staff is all in the same room together. We have combined practices. So the girls and the guys practice together, but we split up for tournaments. So like all of the coaches are in the room with us. Typically the entire practice is ran by Coach G or Coach Mathers. And then like I'll usually be drilling with Nick or with Hunter. And then when we go to tournaments, G and Hunter and Nick corner the girls typically, and then Coach Mathers and Coach Uke or Coach G or Hunter, depending on who's there. But yeah, the boys and girls split up for tournaments.
So how does one coach someone in a tournament? Like, how do they help you?
Yeah, so for tournaments, there's two coaches are allowed in the corner at a time, and so they'll let you know, like, they can see it from an outside point of view. So I might be feeling like her pressure in one way, but they can see that there's like a great opportunity to score in a different way. So they'll like remind me of that and yell out different takedowns that like I should be trying because there's like a better angle or better opportunity. They'll help me out. Like wrestling, sometimes you get in these weird scrambly positions. So like they'll like tell you how to make sure like to watch out for different opportunities to score. And honestly, wrestling's just such a mental sport. Sometimes like if you're down by 2 and you're kind of just like upset, and like it's really easy to get kind of have like that adversity. So it's nice to have just someone like encouraging you in your corner and like reassuring you.
For sure.
So maybe other than your coaches, how do you shift out of that negative mindset?
I think that I just totally had a voice crack. I think that like having to shift out of negative mindset. It's funny you ask that because like last year I went into the state tournament as a 1 seed as well. So I've been the 1 seed 2 years in a row, but I came home with a 5th place medal last year. And the first day of the tournament, you're guaranteed 2 matches. But my second match I lost, and like I had prepared all year for the state finals. I was like, okay, like I got to worry about my finals match. That's the big match, but I didn't even make it there. I made it to day 2, and then I lost that second match. So even though I lost that match, I still was competing. Now I was just in the consolation brackets, and the console brackets are another battle. It's so hard to like kind of keep your mind in it. But when I'm like losing or I'm down, I'm just remember like I'm so grateful to be out there on the mat and like to have like a healthy body that is able to wrestle and to have coaches that support me. And like I guess my big motto is like all or nothing. So like if I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do it, I'm going to give it my all. And if it's not good enough, that's one thing. But like no matter what, I'm just going to like give it my full effort. And so I understand that like sometimes I might be down in points, but like the time's not over yet. You just got to keep going.
Have you done anything to give back to the wrestling program, maybe other than making it to the section championship?
Yeah, so wrestling, other schools in the area have a lot of clubs that are kind of like feeder clubs. Rocklin doesn't quite have that yet, but we're planning on like making that a thing. There's a club called Rocklin Rampage that practices at Granite Oaks, and so we're trying to see if we can get Rocklin wrestlers to go and coach over there. Club wrestling is also a big thing, so I'm a club wrestling coach at Swamp Monsters Wrestling in Sacramento, so I work with them over there. I also ref a lot, so I ref on the weekends, and it's super cool to see like the little wrestlers grow up, and now like some of the kids like I used to ref are now freshmen here, so that's kind of funny to see.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So quick question about reffing. How does that work?
We're just watching for takedowns and like making sure that like all the moves that they do are legal, and watching time, and yeah, it's just like keeping score. It's really fun to see because it kind of makes you look at it from like a different perspective. I just started like realizing that a lot of like the moves that I do, like where on the mat I should try them, because like they call it like edge work, because you want to make sure that a lot of the moves you do are right on the edge of the mat, so that way like if you lose your points, like it's fine because you're out, you can restart.
Yeah.
But like that was something that I noticed a lot this year that I used to my advantage, because that's like a different perspective I looked at, and I realized that because I was reffing and I saw that.
Final question before you can get back to there. What is an example of an illegal move? Like asking for a friend. Of
course. There's a couple different. Some examples are like a full Nelson, which there's a half Nelson, which you put one arm like under their arm and over their neck, and that's
I saw
how you
that in a
would turn
Phineas
them.
and Ferb episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know about these things.
Yeah, full Nelson would be both sides, so that's illegal. You also can't like lock hands around them when you're down on the mat, and you also can't like lock your legs, like they call it a figure four. You can't do that around the body when they're down on the mat either. So those are probably like the most common ones you see. Unnecessary roughness is also a thing. Chase Baker likes to. Chase Baker's
Didn't he throw someone into like a trash can or something?
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
I remember I was at that tournament taking pictures, and I just remember him like pushing this full size. You've seen Chase Baker. He's built. He was just pushing this other guy straight into a trash can, and then hit someone in the bleachers. And I just remember, I'm like, are you okay?
Yeah. No, there's definitely like, I don't think anyone's gotten disqualified yet. I know Chase like got told off, but like there's like unnecessary roughness, and like sometimes they can give up a point. Sometimes they'll just like stop it, but yeah, it depends. So just no shoving when the whistle's blown.
So you talked a little bit about coaching some of the middle schoolers, or
like younger kids.
The younger kids at the middle school. How does that make you feel? Just knowing that you're able to coach these kids and hopefully build up their.
I think it's really cool because when I started wrestling, like there weren't that many girls that were coming back into the middle school, and like even when I was a freshman, I think there were only like 3 or 4 of us varsity girls. So it's kind of cool to see like there's a lot of youth, and like women's wrestling is like the fastest growing like sport right now. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so it's like one of the fastest growing sports in the nation. So it's kind of cool to see like it's kind of cool to like know that I can give back and like inspire the younger girls, and like it's also cool to see I think it's cool to see people your age in the room, or like closer to your age, because it's easier to have like those emotional conversations after a hard loss with someone that's closer in age with you than like a coach who's like one of your friends' dads or something like that. You know, I think it's cool to have like those mentors that are closer in age. So I remember like when I was younger, Kayla Flieger was in high school, and like I was in 7th grade and 8th grade, and she was a sophomore and freshman, and like she'd qualified for state too. So it was really cool to like look up to her when I was younger, and then now like I'm excited to go and hang out with the younger kids and hopefully like help them love wrestling as much as I do.
Okay, so our final question is, what do you hope that your legacy is that you're leaving behind from Rocklin High?
I just hope that like people recognize that you don't have to like come from a wrestling family, or you don't have to have like the most support, like the biggest support system and stuff. I think my favorite part about wrestling at Rocklin is definitely like the people. And I know like every sport probably says that, but like we have football players that are like, no, football's a family, but wrestling is a family, like capital F family.
Yeah.
It is so cool. We're out there like every morning, every Saturday. I mean, you probably had a little taste of it just like for photographing, but no, we are out together every day on the mats for at least 2 hours. And then these long tournament days and these overnighters that we're always together. And so I think like, I don't know if it's like as much of a legacy, but like I really do care about my wrestling family. And so I just hope that like they'll continue to do all those like cool team breakfast traditions or stuff like that. And that I also think like going into college, I'm getting recruited right now. I haven't signed anywhere yet, but I'm definitely gonna be wrestling in college, and I don't think we've had a girl wrestler like commit anywhere, so that'll be cool too. But
Are you allowed to like tell us what college is?
Yeah, I can talk about it.
Yeah.
Like I haven't signed anywhere yet, so everything's kind of still in the works. But I just talked to the coach actually earlier today. I'm going to Texas Wesleyan and University of Providence, which are in Texas and Montana. Those are probably like my two favorites right now. I'm also recruited by 2 schools in Atlanta, so I'll be visiting Georgia over spring break.
Just going everywhere.
Yeah, so I'll probably and then Missouri Valley, which is like the longest women's wrestling program. They have had they started in 1992, I think, and the coach's little sister happens to be the girl that would be my mat partner. So yeah, it's kind of a cool community. Everyone's kind of connected in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, so I'll probably end up in Texas, Montana, Georgia, or Missouri, but we don't know yet.
It's awesome.
That's
Just
really
having
cool.
so many opportunities.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes.
And one more question. So after college, what does like the women's wrestling field look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we're not like baseball or like basketball. There's not like NBA or NFL or anything like that. But it's an Olympic sport. So yeah, the Olympics is where everyone strives to go. I've been invited to the Olympic Training Center. They hold clinics and stuff all the time. So it's
really?
cool to, yeah.
That's really cool.
So like it's really neat to see how that goes. There's world team trials and Olympic trials. So you would compete in tournaments to make the team, and then you would go compete further on. There's always like the US Open and stuff too, which are fun. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of open tournaments and stuff after college, and then everyone's striving to make the Olympics, I guess. I don't know if the Olympics is in the cards for me.
I mean, it could be.
I don't know. They also go up to 160, and I'm a little bit above 160, so I'd have to cut a little bit of weight. But yeah, so the Olympics is kind of it. Or honestly, coaching. I love this sport. I'll probably just come back and coach. So
That's really cool.
yeah.
It's amazing. Well, if that's everything, then thank you so much for doing this with us.
Cool. Thank you so much. This was so fun.
Hi, I'm Trey, part of Rocklin Media. If you liked your podcast, go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you'd like to read more articles and learn more about your campus, go ahead and visit rocklinmedia.org.